Keith and Jen, good evening to you. So we're talking about an unfortunate domino effect here. St. Petersburg police confirming to us in the early morning hours this morning, a driver hit the car of the renter, this house you see behind me, and then both cars went pummeling into the home. Take a look at just the destruction right behind us here. The caution tape you see surrounding that gaping hole in front of the house. The damage that you see there is just a glimpse of the destruction left behind, shocking multiple neighbors in the area. Tonight, a woman is salvaging what is left of her St. Petersburg home. Those passing by shocked at the story behind the caution tape surrounding the gaping hole in front of the home.
And to hear a car came through in the middle of the night, that's pretty frightening.
A scary sight for Jordan Lorth, living a few houses down, but unsurprising to Mashana Mallory, who lives across the street.
Unfortunately, this has happened, I would say, probably about 3 times since we've been living here.
Mallory's family has lived in the area for more than a decade and says this morning's incident is the worst it has been at the home.
That house is just at a really bad angle to where if people aren't paying attention or if they don't know the neighborhood and they're just speeding, then that's the house that seems to get it.
The St. Petersburg police say the call came in around 3 a.m. and were told a 28-year-old woman was driving along 6th Street South and lost control of the car. Our News Channel 8 cameras were able to catch the aftermath. The car hitting a car parked at the home, pushing it into the front of the house and into the living room.
For them to blow right through that after it being a 4-way stop over here, they'd have to be going pretty fast, especially to make that much damage.
And police say the driver faces a total of 3 charges: DUI resulting in damage to property, driving while license is suspended, canceled, or revoked, and careless driving. So in other words, police say the driver shouldn't have been driving to begin with. Live in St. Petersburg, Victoria Lucas, 8 on your side.
My feeling is that this man killed my father. My father could have gotten treatment. May he have survived the cancer? I don't know. But there's a possibility he could have.
An Alabama woman drove to Tampa for answers about her late father's missing money. Money that she says was siphoned by Pinellas County businessman Leo Govoni. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. 2 weeks ago, federal agents arrested Govoni and his longtime accountant John Wytek, accusing them of embezzling $100 million over 15 years from people with special needs.
But tonight, more people are coming forward saying they too trusted Govoni to safeguard their money, only to find it gone when they need it the most. 8 on your side investigative reporter Brittany Muller joins us now live in studio. And Brittany, you spoke to a woman who drove here all the way from Alabama looking for answers after her father's death.
Jen and Keith, that's right. Melissa Beck says her dad needed chemo to fight cancer, but she says another Leo Govoni-run nonprofit called Medicare Set Aside refused to pay for the treatments. Now Beck blames Govoni for her father's death.
Thomas Hancock was a hard-working man who never expected his life to come tumbling down. Hancock was a painter by trade until 2007 when the scaffolding underneath him collapsed and he fell 30 feet, leaving him badly injured. Hancock's attorneys fought for him, and when he was awarded money for his future medical care, they recommended he place the money with a Pinellas County-based company that specialized in safeguarding such funds, the Center for Medicare Set Aside.
There was money in this account, but we had no access to this money.
Melissa Beck says this is the only statement her father ever received from Medicare Set Aside. Dated 2023, it shows $347,000 in his account. So when Hancock got sick and his doctor said he needed chemotherapy, the family contacted Medicare Set Aside for help, only to get an answer they never expected.
Medicare Set Aside denied his chemotherapy treatment. We never could figure out why.
Thomas Hancock died from COPD and cancer complications in May. He was 73 years old. Now Melissa Beck holds one man responsible for her father's death, the man who founded Medicare Set Aside, Leo Govoni.
I blame Mr. Govoni. I blame Mr. Govoni for my father's death. If he had not taken my father's money, my father may still be alive. He may not still be alive. I don't know, but that's a question that will never be answered.
Beck says she didn't discover the alleged scheme until after her father's death.
My dad had no knowledge that he was even being stolen from. That's the worst part.
2 weeks ago, federal agents arrested Govoni and his accountant, John Witek, for embezzling $100 million over a 15-year period from Govoni's other nonprofit that managed money. The Center for Special Needs Trust Administration, based in St. Petersburg. Before Govoni was handcuffed, we tried to press him for answers.
What would you say to the victims? How did you spend $120 million?
This indictment paints a picture of Govoni living a life of luxury off the missing millions, buying a private jet, real estate, and a box at Ray J. For Melissa Beck, she wonders who else could have been involved.
While his wife is still living this luxury, why is she not indicted on this? Why has his son not been indicted? Why has the lawyer that was working with him not been indicted?
Now, yet another twist in this saga. We've learned that U.S. Attorney General and Temple Terrace native Pam Bondi has fired Assistant U.S. Attorney Mike Gordon. Gordon was one of many federal prosecutors who worked on cases involving the January 6th rioters. And Gordon was also the lead prosecutor on the Govoni case. We've reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and a spokesperson says the case against Leo Govoni and John Witek will proceed as scheduled, but would not comment on Gordon's termination.
I want to go back to Melissa Beck for just a second, because she brings up a good point. Could other people face charges in this?
It's a great question that so many of our viewers have been wondering. The federal indictment mentions others known and unknown to the grand jury conspired to defraud. So this might be a sign that the DOJ plans to charge other people in the case. But right now the question is, will there be a delay in this case because the lead prosecutor has been terminated?
Yeah.
We'll stay on it and we'll let you know.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. When the popular genetic testing company 23andMe filed for bankruptcy earlier this year and announced that it was for sale, privacy experts sounded the alarm.
And when a drug maker moved forward with plans to buy the company, 27 states sued in federal court to block that sale. Well, now there's a new buyer. 8 on Your Side consumer investigator Shannon Bankin joins us in studio with that story.
Jen Keith, in a new twist, a bankruptcy judge has approved the sale of 23andMe to a nonprofit. That nonprofit is led by the former CEO and co-founder of 23andMe. 15 million consumers turned to genetic testing company 23andMe to learn about their ancestry and understand their disposition to diseases. The company's bankruptcy brought up serious questions about who would buy the company and its sensitive genetic data and what it could be used for. USF public health professor and attorney Jay Wolfson.
There's no federal system that is going to be able to guarantee the protection of those things. Some state laws may, but this is kind of new territory.
In May, when pharmaceutical company Regeneron announced it was buying 23andMe for $256 million, attorney generals in 27 states, including Florida, sued in federal court, alleging the sale would violate privacy laws in their individual states. Now, a bankruptcy judge has approved a different sale for $305 million to TTAM Research Group, led by Ann Wachitsky, the former CEO and co-founder of 23andMe. She said in a press release that the nonprofit will continue the company's mission of understanding the human genome for the public good. She went on to say, quote, "Core to my beliefs is that individuals should be empowered to have choice and transparency with respect to their genetic data and have the opportunity to continue to learn about their ancestry and health risk as they wish." 23andMe has said the new buyer will continue the policy of allowing users to delete their account and their genetic data, as well as opt out of research if you'd like.
But remind me, they had some issues with data and privacy before, didn't they?
Yes, and that's what brought about a lot of these concerns, Jen. In the past, there's already been a hack. In 2023, hackers exposed the personal data of nearly 7 million 23andMe customers over a 5-month period. It's unclear how that data was used, but the hack has led to this concern, and that's why many consumers have decided to delete their data on the app.
All right, stay on it for us because there's more to come on this, I'm sure. All right.
Also today, Sarasota plans to invest millions of dollars in stormwater infrastructure improvements, and this is all because of the impacts of last year's hurricanes. 8 on Your Side's Alessandra Young in Sarasota this morning with what we can expect.
Some residents in the area say they worry each time it rains because of flooding, and nothing has been done about it. But today, the county is taking steps forward to trying to bring some relief to the residents. In areas like Philippi Creek, people experienced flooding time and time again last year. Neighbors say after years of no maintenance, they have concerns about debris and sediment packing in the creek.
It should not take this much public advocacy to right a wrong. And it has been years of sediment buildup in Philippi Creek that needs to be addressed.
During a recent meeting, homeowners expressed their frustrations with the county and how after all of this time, they feel helpless.
I gotta tell you, where do we go from here? Because now you don't just have a flood problem, you have a trust problem.
To address this, the county is voting to appropriate $10 million to maintain, repair, and restore the stormwater system. This comes after the Army Corps of Engineers denied an emergency permit request because of the amount of work that needs to be done. The county says last year's storms showed just how vulnerable the system is, and fixes need to happen fast. The county is also creating a new stormwater department, and just yesterday selected Ben Quartermain as its director.
We work for the citizens. And I think it's been very loud and clear that we need to start regaining some public trust with our stormwater, and that this would help the first steps of moving forward with stormwater.
Quartermain is expected to start the role on August 11th. Now the meeting will take place here at the County Administration Building today here in Venice. And of course, there will be a hearing for residents to weigh in on what their thoughts are on all of this. In Sarasota County, I'm Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.